My name is Miss Ward, and I've been teaching here at Haverford High School for 6 years. I'm not originally from here. I went to school in Michigan, and then I also did a master's in Pittsburgh, Chatham College. Woohoo! I teach the 10-1 English course, which is a world literatures course. It focuses on the connections between the world cultures class, which is the 10th grade social studies course, and how those connections are shown through the literature. So we read a lot of poetry, we read short stories, we look at memoirs, nonfiction essays, as well as fiction stories. A student should expect to make a lot of connections, and that's really the goal of the 10th grade English class, regardless of the level. It's to be able to make connections not just to other books that perhaps a student has read, but to events that are currently happening in our world. So whether you're reading a poem about, I don't know, apartheid in South Africa, that a student can make a connection to perhaps the history that they know about apartheid South Africa, but then also what's happening in our world today that has similar sorts of dynamics. So it's really about making connections between what's happening in the student's daily life to what's already happened in the world and is currently happening in the world. It really depends. I don't think that the course is meant to squash students. No honors courses, no course is meant to squash students. But the idea is that the students really take charge of what we do in the class. And so if a class is up to sort of pushing the envelope a little bit, it can be a more challenging course. I think probably the hardest piece, when students get to 10th grade, the challenge is really learning to manage priorities, more so than whether the content is too difficult to master. It's really about how do you find a balance between what's going on in your personal life and the other courses that you're taking and your track practice and your band sectionals and everything else. So it's kind of an organizational thing. Every single day for a semester. The only prerequisite for the 10th grade English class, regardless of level, is that you have it during the same semester that you have your world cultures class. So you're taking your world cultures and your English at the same time. A test a week? It depends, because the first semester there are quite a few when we're going through all the grammar stuff, and there's one every single week. But I would say that we tend to do probably quite a bit more on the project side. Students do projects based on their reading, but also connections with their research. So all students in the 10th grade do a research project that's based on an issue facing a current culture in a non-Western country. And then we do sort of a project with that piece, not just writing an essay, but how do you take that research and actually do something with it. What do I say to a student? Be prepared to think outside the box and be prepared to put yourself into the course. Because if you come to the 10th grade English class closed off and unwilling to engage in the material, you're not going to get a lot out of it, and it's going to be a waste of your time. But if you are open to the experience, you can get a lot out of it.